Good morning, Dad. I just tried to leave you this whole video, but my camera or my phone is full of far too many photos and videos and stuff like that that I haven't edited. So here's the whole video. And I'm glad I'm putting it on YouTube because more people than just my amazing father need to hear this. And just first off, for anyone who doesn't know my dad, he's an amazing man, amazing husband, amazing father. I couldn't be blessed more with both my mom and dad growing up. And so I try every day to do all that I can to make them proud and see if in any way, shape, or form, if I can give back. I know that I wouldn't have any knowledge if it wasn't for their upbringing with all the opportunities that they've given to me. If it wasn't for them stepping in when I needed healing after getting rammed into by a number of cars in my 20s. And that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to say that real quick. I love you, Dad. When you watch this, just know that. I know that you don't 100% believe in holistic health. I get that your whole generation doesn't really believe in holistic health. I even talk to people sometimes since this whole scamdemic has begun, and even people who believe in holistic health their entire life, who've been preaching it, telling their kids about it. Even now, some of them are kind of giving up on it just because of all the psyops and mind control and germ theory that just gets shoved down our throat every time you turn on the news, the media, go to school to try to get an education. Anyways, though, I did do a little bit of research. I just checked out this video. Mom and Dad, anybody else watching, you guys can see that one. YouTube is getting harder and harder to use. Their algorithm is very not holistic health based. And so, unfortunately, it's getting tougher and tougher to find this information. But I just spoke to a woman at the Hippocrates Health Institute named Cynthia, who seemed very nice. And she said that if you look long enough on YouTube, there's thousands of videos of people specifically with leukemia. And from what I understand from our last update, that, Dad, you have acute myeloid leukemia, AML. And she said, yes, they have plenty of experience with that. And basically, this is a complete 180 from like traditional Western medicine approach, which is basically to crash your immune system and then rebuild it, give you vaccines and all this other pseudoscientific garbage to try to pretend that that's going to help you. I think in reality, why that really helps is that people make lifestyle changes once they realize that they're not as strong or resilient as they once thought they were. And it's those lifestyle changes that do carry them forward if they do last longer than somebody would last were it not for going down that route. And then on another level, I think we're so closed off, we're so independently minded these days that a lot of times people don't feel the love from their family, from their circle of friends until something serious happens. And then their family rightfully comes out and lets them know how loved and appreciated they are. And so I think it's more so than anything the placebo effect, plus your familial love, plus oftentimes people will retire when these things happen to them just out of necessity, because you can't be missing work for long periods of time to heal, no matter how cool your boss is in most cases, or even if you are the boss like my pops. But yeah, so just to give you guys a little primer, Mom and Dad and anybody else watching, I've looked into Hippocrates Health Institute for the last like 10 years off and on. I've referred it to a number of people for different types of cancer, if and when I feel that they can afford it. Unfortunately, as you all know, holistic health comes at a premium. It's not something that's covered by insurance, unfortunately, to my knowledge, with rare exception. Of course, there are things that you can get done that are holistic, like getting your vitamin D tested, getting your essential fatty acids tested, that are covered by insurance, thankfully. And I do recommend those to people across the board if you're trying to heal or boost your immunity or optimize. But just to give you a little breakdown of what I understand about Hippocrates Health Institute, and just to key you guys in, you guys can check it out for yourself. Just go into any internet search you like, type in Hippocrates Health Institute. You're going to find their website. You can click on their different programs and click on the cancer program if that's what you're going through, and they'll give you the breakdown of what it is that they do. And so it is a vegan diet. Break that news to you real quick, Dad. I know that's not your normal, and I don't think that it necessarily needs to be your new normal. I think it's something that will help you in this time of need, because it is essentially a method of fasting, so far as I understand it. It is a way where you can basically fast while giving your body the minerals and nutrients that it needs to achieve optimal health and get you back to not only a fasted state of health where your body starts to conquer all the different toxic cells that have been degenerated and left in different parts of your body. It also gets rid of excess fat, and all the while giving you the nutrients that you need to be your best self, so that when you do heal and you do leave that place, you understand, what that sort of fasting is like, so you can always go back to it if needed. And more than anything, it just gives you a new shot at life, gives you a new whole sense of health. It's not something that attacks your body, attacks cancer, which is a part of the immune system. People don't understand that. I first came across that when I was studying the Gerson Institute. I think it's Institute, but Gerson, Gerson. If anybody wants to check it out, I believe that they're operating out of Mexico, and they have amazing results as well. Similar dietary protocol. They do lots of juicing of vegetables and fruits and that sort of thing to get your immune system turned back on and fighting off any problems that you have in your body. And so basically what I learned from Gerson's Institute, and I've since heard this from a number of highly esteemed doctors saying the same exact thing. We have this medical industrial complex model where they want us to believe that cancer is a disease. It's super complicated. There's so many different types, and every different type has a different treatment protocol. Lots of them, 75% of them, they're still recommending chemotherapy, which to me is just a mind fuck to even say that. Chemicals are not therapeutic in any way, shape, or form. But, in this inverted reality that we live in, they're going to continue to tell that to you and shove that down your throat. My dad's actually been going to Stanford, which, I get it, Dad. Stanford seems like it's a prestigious institution. And if you were going to them for economic advice, if you were going to them for law advice, if you're going to them for pretty much any type of advice other than health advice, I'd say you're at the right spot. But health advice in this country, there's a reason we're ranked what we're ranked. We're nowhere near the top of healthcare rankings in the world, despite the fact that we have more money in our budgets than any country on earth. We don't have good healthcare outcomes because we have a medical industrial model which is based off of allopathic medicine, which, yes, means disease-based medicine, meaning you being healthy is their number one fear. Like it is that simple. And so if you get into a car accident, like I got, smacked on my head at 16, just driving home from the movies, and somebody decided to run a red light, and boom, I'm in the hospital with brain surgery. It's a good country to be in for that. It's a good country to be in for urgent care of lots of sorts. It's a good country to be in for surgery. It's a good country to be in for cosmetic surgery. There's a lot of bonuses to the Western medical system, but ongoing healthcare, disease healthcare is not one of them. They don't shoot you in a direction that's going to make you healthy. They shoot you in a direction that's going to keep you ill, and they're just going to treat your symptoms until you die or your bank account runs out, at which point they're going to speed up your death. That's just a fact. And so, and I know that from working for that entity for 10 years. I eventually worked for the emergency department. I got a bunch of kudos for raising our emergency department scores from the bottom third of Kaiser emergency departments to the top third of Kaiser emergency departments. And I was the only change. So they started inviting me to management meetings. I was on 3 different committees: patient improvement, patient satisfaction. They were all the same basically, but different little acronyms. And I learned that as you go up the chain from low-level employee to high-level employee, you get more and more and more apathy, more and more people who just are looking at their paychecks, looking at what it is that they can accomplish for their own self, and they don't really care so much anymore because they've been just dehumanized for so long that, anyways, I don't really even want to take it there. I just need to give you guys a little primer on the state of our healthcare system. But what I really am passionate about, and I've been preaching to anyone and everyone who will listen since I was, early 20s now, when I switched over to holistic healthcare myself, and I've been starting to practice what I preach. And so I know, just not from my readings, I also know from personal experience, that I no longer get the flu every year like I used to. I no longer get sick like I used to. I just feel good all the time. And occasionally, I'll feel a little run down. Occasionally I'll eat too much. I'll fast. If I get a little run down, I'll start resting more. I'll try to take some naps in the sun. I'll try to get a little more sleep. But I understand holistic health. I understand how much sun I need. I understand how much vitamins I need. I understand that if I feel any sort of like sniffles, I just take a food grade vitamin C once an hour. Like holistic health is in me. It's part of my DNA now. And I haven't been sick since 2009 after Spencer High's amazing wedding. Buddy, if you ever see this, that was the best wedding. Well, Danny and Gina's wedding was super epic too. Spencer's wedding was like a 3-day affair. I partied super hard for 3 days and ended up getting sick after it. Haven't been sick since then though. It's going on, I think 11 or 12 years now. But anyways, enough about me. Back to the Hippocrates Health Institute. Dad, I talked to Cynthia, who is the person that we need to contact if we call back. I'm sure she'll happily try to find some YouTube videos for you, more so than that first one I just showed you, and email them to you or whatever. But they have a cancer program opening the 20th of this month. So I think it's in your best interest and our whole family's best interest, because we all want you to be happy, healthy, and whole for the rest of your life. And we want, Gina's little baby, Danny's little baby, Lydia, to see you in all your glory. I want you to be teaching her how to do a jump shot. I want you to be the same granddad to her that you were a father to us. I think she deserves that, and I think you deserve that. I know it's adorable. It brings tears to my eyes just seeing y'all together. It's adorable. Big dog and little dog. You guys are just so cute. But anyways, so basically the Hippocrates Health Institute, they just, like I said, it's a complete 180 from the germ theory model where they try to crash your health and then rebuild it with all these pseudoscientific vaccines and that sort of deal. And I know I saw Michelle's video that they've invented like 8 new drugs in the last 15 years. And that is something that, I personally still can't believe in. I don't think that drugs are the answer. I think that tuning back into your own holistic health, finding out ways to stop the calcium efflux, which is causing this disease in the first place. A lot of people don't know what calcium efflux is. I mentioned it to you guys before, but let me just say it again for anyone who doesn't know. Calcium efflux is basically anytime your body undergoes stress, which in the modern world, there's a number of ways that we undergo stress, namely Wi-Fi radiation, big stressor. It causes calcium efflux, which is basically your body leaches calcium from its strongholds, which is your teeth, your bones, and uses that to create insulin to lessen the stress response on your body so that you don't overdose from sugar, so that you don't basically go into further health problems. It's actually better for you, obviously, to have porous bones or a little bit of health issues with your, bones and teeth, as opposed to like actually dying from a sugar overdose. So if you eat carbs often, which Dad, your carb levels aren't crazy high from what I know, but the American diet is too high in carbs. And so even if you're just normal in that sense, which I would say your diet is fairly American, you're doing more stress to your body than it needs. And also on top of that, you guys have Wi-Fi when you sleep, which I've been telling you for years to turn that shit off. I think you guys need to get grounded internet like I have. You don't need to be on the phone all the time. But just my 2 cents. And then also my dad and anybody out there who smokes marijuana or cigarettes or anything you smoke. I know my dad was a smoker for years. We actually kind of butted heads on that when I was a little kid, and I didn't talk to him for a while. I can't remember how long, because I just wanted him to quit. I didn't understand. Like I just understood that it was like a slow form of suicide. And I thought, like, why would you try to do that? We all need you and love you. And I remember just like icing him when he would come in for like at least a week, I want to say. And he would try to tell me good night, I love you. And I just iced him, and ended up, he quit, but still smokes marijuana like me and my brother and a lot of people in my family do. Or did. I'm clean again. I go through, phases where I will smoke a little bit. I'm back off of it. And, it's something that I don't think I'm going to stay away from forever, but I feel good off of it right now. And, I more want it to be something that I do once every couple months rather than, at times once every couple hours, which is not a healthy thing. And the reason being is that smoking, a lot of people don't realize smoking versus ingesting an edible like CBD drops or even THC in medical form. It's something that when you ingest it, it processes through your liver. So there's that. I mean, it's not, the more your liver has to do, the more obviously it's going to get tired and worn down. You're going to build up stones. I was blessed to find Andreas Moritz in my healing in my 20s after some accidents. I came across him and followed his protocol 10 or 12 times. I have photos if anyone's interested. I'm happy to share with you of all the stones that I've flushed. I flushed literally thousands of stones from my liver and gallbladder, refreshing my liver, feeling like a totally new man, like hormonally and digestively. It's actually something that I need to do again because it's been probably like 3 or 4 years since I've done one, maybe longer even. But anyways, so there's that. But the thing is, when you smoke, the reason why you get high so quick is because it just goes straight into your bloodstream. And so anytime your blood is filtering out smoke, it stresses your body. There's no way around that. And so that's also a factor that contributes to calcium efflux. And so just to understand this from a holistic perspective, and then also like what makes my fucking, like, it just makes me so mad that chemotherapy is recommended to anybody, especially to people with leukemia, because if you look up leukemia, one of the largest, I've never seen an argument in this respect, the largest actually contributing factor to getting leukemia is prior chemotherapy. So if anyone out there has gone through chemo, I suggest right now you go and look up Andreas Moritz, the amazing liver and gallbladder flush. Start getting your liver clean. That's the filter of your body. It's something that it behooves anyone who cares about their holistic health to go and do that. So anyways, there's that. And so, like I said, Dad, September 20th, they have openings right now. Please, please, please strongly consider signing up. I know you're a leader and you're stubborn and you don't like to take advice, but I can't not say it. I feel like an asshole just holding in this truth inside of me. And so I need to speak my truth, and you can do with it what you will. But so I've looked into their cancer program. And so not only do they use glutathione, which is the master antioxidant for your body, and it's something that is produced by a healthy liver in copious amounts. And the less healthy your liver is, the less your body has an ability to produce it. So it's something that adding it into the situation is only beneficial. And then they also put you on intravenous vitamin C, which I think I've told you guys a number of people. First off, this video is going on 17 minutes. I kind of all over the place right now, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned at the beginning of this video. If I didn't, I first was introduced to the Hippocrates Health Institute by doctors at Kaiser, who I noticed 2 or 3 doctors went to Florida to get cancer treatment. And I remember scratching my head like, wow, that's a long way to go for cancer treatment. Like there's nowhere in California, there's nowhere that you could have went to around here. And then I ended up looking into it and ended up finding other people in the yoga community who also went there. And I started realizing like, wow, this place must be the truth. And so I looked into it, and even people who didn't go to the Hippocrates Health Institute, I met 10 or 12 people while I was at Kaiser, all of which got cancer, none of which got chemo. And a lot of them who did do it around here just got it early and started doing intravenous vitamin C. And intravenous vitamin C is just incredibly beneficial. The only thing that I've ever looked into that in and of itself is more powerful possibly would be intravenous stem cell of the sort that they do in countries like Argentina that don't have as restrictive of laws as we do here. For anyone who hasn't checked that out, actually check out next time you're on YouTube, type in Mel Gibson, Joe Rogan, and he'll tell you about his dad when he was like 96 years old. I want to say he had like Alzheimer's, like a hip issue, was like falling apart and dying. And he takes his dad to Argentina, gets stem cells pumped all through his body. The Alzheimer's goes away, the hip issue goes away, and he's like a new recharged man. Actually, kind of curious. I want to look him up, see if he's still around, still kicking it. But regardless, that's just another thing to possibly think about for the future, just to optimize your health. To my dad and anyone else who's worked their ass off, saved their money, and has the ability to do these types of things. And so there's that. There's those 2 things, and then there's also not intravenous, but they give you injections of vitamin D in copious amounts compared to like what they recommend in pill form. I want to say in pill form, they recommend like 400 or 500 international units to take each day, which is like nothing. It's nothing. I mean, if you look up how much vitamin D you can get just from one tanning session, like I'm not white with blonde hair, blue eyes, but imagine I was. A white person with blonde hair, blue eyes can sit out in the sun for 15 minutes in midday sun and get 50,000 international units of vitamin D. And so I'm not sure exactly the dosage pattern, but they give you 100,000 international units of vitamin D. I don't know if that's weekly or if that's daily, but it's all under the supervision of doctors. Like this is a health resort. It's cushy. It's amazing. The only person I know who knows about this, who hasn't gone down this route, are people who either A, can't afford it, or it's not practical for them to go to Florida. But so those three things in and of themselves are fucking amazing. Anyone should try to at least look into this. Talk about it with your doctor. Ask them man to man, eye to eye. Would you recommend this to anyone you love, to anyone you know? Is this something that you're recommending me down this one path of chemo and drugs because that's the protocol you've been told by Big Pharma Boot Camp, which, yes, is what I consider Western medicine to be. It's unfortunately not a kind-hearted organization from the top down. It's a lot of people who just care about that paper, and then a lot of naive tools underneath them, or people who are trapped under debt or trapped under big bills that they've accumulated from having, expensive cars, expensive households, expensive lives, and now they're just kind of trapped in this way of life and they don't know any other way. So they just continue to keep on keeping on. But I don't want to go on too long. I see I'm at 22 minutes already, and I appreciate anyone for listening. I see I actually have a couple of viewers on the YouTube Live, which is a trip. You guys could throw up a comment. Tell me where you're from. It's my first time going YouTube Live, actually. I just am doing it because my cell phone's out of batteries, and this is the only way I can get my parents this information without clearing out my whole phone, which will take a minute, and I don't like to do that. So anyways, I appreciate y'all. God bless you for listening. I wish you guys all nothing but the best, and whichever way you do choose, Dad, just know I love you. I'll always love you. I just have to say this, and I hope you, take it kindly and understand that all I want is the same thing that Michelle wants, same thing that Danny wants, same thing that Mom wants. We all just want you to stick around and be around for us and Lydia and everyone else in the family because we love you. And so I hope you have a beautiful day. I'm starting to get a little teary-eyed. Just the thought of not having you has kind of been weighing on me, and I'm sure everyone else in the family, including yourself, because none of these prognoses that Western medicine will give you are anywhere near as what's the word? They're not going to leave you anywhere as optimistic as I think this information will once you really dive in and take a look. So please reach back to me, Dad. I'm happy to do the legwork and call Cynthia for you and try to get you signed up for that September 20th start date. I don't see it as anything but a positive, even if you want to get tests and see which very, very specific type of leukemia you have, like Michelle was kind of suggesting the other day with her latest message she shared with all of us. I don't see why you wouldn't be doing that from a resort that's looking after you, that's optimizing your immune system, that's making you the healthiest, happiest you can be going into whatever it is you choose to do next. If you are at that health resort for a number of weeks and you don't feel like it's improving, your instincts are your instincts, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just need to give you this option because knowledge is power. And so I love you. I hope you have a beautiful day, and look forward to seeing you soon.